And try to answer your question about why do people become serial offenders. Is it nurture versus genetics? Is it a combination of the same? From my perspective and my experience in dealing with these folks and the cases that I've studied and the people that I've interviewed, it comes down for me to free will and choice. So why does one choose this direction versus another? Generally, you can find for most of these folks that there's been some level of exposure to sexual abuse, emotional, psychological abuse, physical abuse. Some level to it, not all of them. Now, you can get two people to grow up in the same family, two brothers grow up in the same family, as somebody like Ted Bundy would tell you. Ted Bundy, although it was a bit different for his family life, he had all step brothers and sisters, or I should say half brothers and sisters, not step. He had a stepfather. Didn't know who his father was. But he started very young, and he indicated that he was introduced into pornography very, very early. You almost find that by far the majority of these people are introduced to pornography, particularly certain types of pornography. And you can imagine the access that's available now.
That is exactly where my head just went.
Yeah,
the velocity and age at which people are exposed to that.
Absolutely.
If you were to put it on a scale, it's diving closer to, well, as men, I think I'm almost grown up at 47.
Yeah.
I'm not actually trying very hard to be, so I'm not worried about it. Women do, in fact, having somebody who has 2 sons and a daughter, they move at a faster pace growing up, but it's diving back towards that inability of the brain to process that exposure to it.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, I've heard stories of single-digit kids, and I don't know if they mean to find it, but they find it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you can erase that from the hard drive once you have that exposure.
Oh, it's amazing. You think of these kids that are exposed at 12 years old, 11, 12, 13 years old, that are engaging in autoerotic activity. Where do they find out about this stuff? Well, they've been exposed to it somewhere, whether it's been on the internet, whether they've read about it, whether they've been abused at one level, been introduced to it. It's incredible. And with that access, I predict that we're going to go through a generation of some of the most heinous types of violence that we've ever seen.
Is that just because, to use a gross, not meaning like disgusting, but a wide analogy, if you're a dial that's a 0 to 10, and because of that exposure, you start off closer to a 9 or a 10, that you have to be so extreme to feel anything? Yeah. Is that what's causing that?
Yeah, I think what happens early on, they get exposed to some traumatic experiences, or they get introduced to a concept that may be thrilling to them, very curious, let their imaginations go with it. They see something on TV. They see, let's say they see a cop show. And here's the cop, it's chasing a serial killer or somebody that's committed violence. Mm-hmm. And then here's, in the same movie, a serial killer who has committed sexual violence and homicide. But for some reason, this individual is focusing not on becoming the cop or solving the crime, but he's becoming more enamored, more curious, more imaginative about this personality over here.
So I'd just like to point out that Michael watches our dog when we're gone, and more often than not, he still leaves Dexter as the TV show that he was watching, which is about... So I'm just letting you know that I'm on to you. I can already...
I've never watched Dexter at your house.
Oh, is it Tyler then?
Must be Tyler, yeah.
All I'm saying is when I'm gone, I come back. I'm like, who is watching season 19 of Dexter? It's somebody between you and my middle son. This is playing at it. As soon as you started saying that, I'm like, oh, no. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Think about the show Dexter.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to assume that the producers, showrunners, creators didn't sit around a table like this and say, Greg, here's what we're going to do. Create a society of people that want to be exactly like this. Yeah. They wanted to make a TV show, but That whole show, and again, there's the vigilante aspect. He's only targeting people that are evil. Explain it however you want to. There's season after season after season. I could 100% see that becoming as infatuating to a young, malleable mind as somebody who grew up watching pro baseball, and that's all that they were exposed to, and that's what they wanted to do instead.
You bet.
Probably, there's very different expressions of life, but yeah, I see where you're going with that.
You know, and I think it's a combination of things. They get bad experiences, whether it's sexual or violence, abuse, we're talking about, or emotional and psychological. And all of it overlaps. And they have this sense of a lack of control in their lives. All of us need to have or believe that we have some control in our lives.
I was going to say, don't we all suffer from that
Yep.
to a degree? Because
Yes.
I certainly have my moments where, and I don't think I'm unique in comparison to
You're not.
anybody else.
It's normal and natural. The difference becomes with these individuals who've been abused, and not all abusers become serial offenders or even commit violence.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can get two people in the same household gone through the exact same experience. One becomes a criminal, and another one becomes a social worker.
Yeah.
So eventually she is going to identify with one or the other. And they feed that identification or that fantasy.